Hi, and welcome to our third installment of Nautilus TV. I'm Matthew Lowe, the web editor for Nautilus International, and today we'll be speaking to Allan Graveson, Senior National Secretary for Professional and Technical. Today, Allan will be talking to us about the STCW 2010, a very important issue for all members alike. So, welcome Allan, welcome to the studio.
Yes, hello.
First question, just thought we would find out how important is STCW 2010?
Well, STCW 2010 is one of the four pillars which actually govern and support the maritime industry.
Okay.
The other three being the Maritime Labour Convention of 2006,
Right.
which is with the International Labour Organisation. It's been adopted but not yet ratified. The other being the SOLAS, the Safety of Life at Sea Convention, which deals with essentially the safety of the vessel itself. And we could look to MARPOL, which is Marine Pollution Convention, dealing with environmental issues. Whereas the STCW, that's the Standards of Training, Certification and Watchkeeping Convention 2010, comes from the STCW Convention of 1978. The last principal amendment was in 1995.
Okay.
So we have now updated it to the 2010 convention.
Great. And what are the changes from STCW 95 and why is this all so important?
Well, it is important. I mean, it's an industry that's undergoing great technological change. So there is a need to update and revise the requirements within the convention, particularly regarding the competencies of seafarers, including masters and officers, in order to meet the requirements of the shipping industry today. I think if I have to look and try to identify the significant changes, one would be the introduction of management training throughout in both the deck and engine departments, and also I would say that there is a consolidation of some of the minor amendments that have taken place to date.
Great. And what change are you particularly pleased with?
Well, I think we can be particularly pleased at the incorporation of the competencies for electrotechnical officers.
Okay.
This union has campaigned for decades with resolutions at every biannual general meeting, as far back as I can certainly remember, requiring not only a national but an international standard for electrotechnical officers. And this time we were very successful in getting the electrotechnical officer at the operational level.
Okay.
And we have options for the future to take that further to include the management level for electrotechnical officers.
Fantastic. And what does this mean personally for an electrical technical officer?
Well, what it means is that they will once again be recognised. I mean, previously radio operators were recognised with certificates issued by the Postmaster General. We will now have certification issued by the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency. They will undergo a series of not only training and then a series of examinations, which will include an oral examination, which we have had embedded in our system is essentially since 1845, when certificates were first introduced on a voluntary basis for deck officers, becoming compulsory in 1850 and engineers in 1862. So we've now got the electrotechnical officers is really the first step since, I would argue, 1912, the Wireless Telegraphy Act.
Gosh, we're talking years ago.
Indeed so, absolutely. But we have moved on. Technological change requires the electrotechnical officer. The industry needs them for the ships of the future.
That's brilliant. Really good news. You know, apart from all the positive things, there's got to be some cons as well. So, yes, we ask you, what are you disappointed about?
Well, I think we're extremely disappointed at the hours of work and rest regulations. We have in the Maritime Labour Convention of 2006 the provisions of the International Labour Organisation's 180 Convention, which provides essentially for either a 72-hour working week or a 91-hour working week. Invariably, the 91-hour working week is the preference, although it's dressed up as a 77 hours rest as such. But when we look here to the STCW Convention, And it was absolutely incredible, really, but the arguments were made that there was no evidence to suggest that people were in any way fatigued or impaired on working a 98-hour working week. So within the convention is the provision for the working of a 98-hour working week, but it must not exceed 2 weeks, and the period reverting to the 91
yes.
must not be double that. So if a person does 2 weeks at 98, then it must be 4 weeks at 91. Now this was a success, I think, for us in that it prevented an abuse in the offshore industry and on the ferries and coastal trades of people working continually 98 hours. It actually prevented that.
Okay, seems like we're back on the topic of fatigue through all these hours of race.
Absolutely, and of course the union is progressing that through its European funded Project Horizon.
For sure.
Which is what we're working for, and yes, that's where we take this on. We will not give up this fight. We're taking it forward.
Great, fantastic. So, final question I've got for you: what happens now?
Well, while the convention was adopted in Manila, the 2010. The IMO used what is known as a tacit acceptance procedure, so we don't have to wait for ratification by member states. It will be gradually introduced from 2012 to 2017, a phased-in period. It's unlikely that countries would want to opt out, which is what they have to do under the tacit acceptance procedure. Therefore, it will actually come into effect fully in 2017. But we, as an organisation, will now be working through the Merchant Navy Training Board, where we hold the influential position as chair of the technical committee, to ensure that our courses here meet this forward. We will be doing this here in the United Kingdom, and equally well across in the Netherlands too. The same processes will be being conducted there, and also with the regulatory authorities both in the Netherlands and in the UK.
Great, so let me just quickly clarify things here for our members. So you say 2017 is when we hope to introduce STCW 2010 in full?
In full.
Okay, what does this mean for our UK and our members? Mainly, I mean, is this particularly two different countries?
No, it will be the same.
Okay.
This is of course it's an international convention, universally applicable, and what it does mean for the members is that their STCW 95 certificates will have to be updated and revalidated to meet the 2010 convention.
Okay, great. Well, that wraps it all up this afternoon. Thanks very much for listening, and we hope to bring you more updates in the near future. Thanks very much, Allan, for joining us in the studio.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
And hopefully we speak again.
Thank you.
Bye for now.